Hello and welcome back to another Dodgeball video. In today's video, I'm going to have part one of a two-part warm-up series where I'm going to show you how I warm up for Dodgeball. So in part one, I'm going to have my little cardio and full body stretch routine, and in part two, it's going to be how I warm up for my throwing. So in this video, I'm going to go through my full warm-up that I do for tournaments. So in this video, what I do takes me about 10 minutes, and what I do in part two takes me about 10 minutes. So in total, 20-minute warm-up. But as I go through it, I'll kind of talk about the things that I skip when it's a league night and I'm not playing for that long and I don't need to do this full 20-minute warm-up. My league night warm-up usually takes me anywhere from like 8 to 10 minutes. So what you'll need for this video is a mini band. I use a medium resistance and then a monster band or a large resistance band. So this is the lightest weight one. I'll link this one in the description. I think if you're gonna get any piece of equipment that I demonstrate in these warm-ups, this is the piece to get. It's super crucial for warming up your shoulders. So again, it'll be linked in the description. So for the first part of this warm-up, I deem it the cardio portion, with the whole objective is I'm just trying to get my heart rate up and start to get the blood flowing in the body. And so this part of the warm-up that I do, I only do at tournaments. During league nights, I usually don't need to do extensive warm-ups, so I usually would skip this part. But if you're wanting to do it, I'm gonna show you what I do. So I start at the back line of the court and I go to mid-court for this whole back and forth. So I'll start with a jog. And then when I get to mid-court, I do a back pedal. And I would do that twice. The next thing I would do after I do that twice is high knees. So driving my knees up, quick contact on the ground, pumping my arms. And when I get to the mid-court line, then I will do butt kicks. So again, trying to do quick contact on the ground. And again, I would do high knees one more time and butt kicks one more time. Then the next thing I'll do is a lunge with a twist. So basically do a lunge and twist my body, and then do the next one. And I would do that all the way down to the end. And then when I get to the mid-court line, I will do what's called an inchworm. So touch my toes, walk it out, get out, and then kind of go into this stretch. I don't know what the technical name of it is. And then walk my feet up. And it would usually take me maybe 6 to 8 of those to get to the back to the back line. And I would only run through both of those things once. And then lastly, just to get my hips going, I'll do, I think they're called karakoas. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I do these in soccer all the time. But you do a leg over and then behind. So. And then I would do that back. And then that one I would do twice as well. So after I do those 4, I do lateral walks. Now I like to do it with a mini band. This is one thing that's like, you don't need to invest in, so if you don't have a mini band, you can do it without it, but you definitely, if you're at a certain level and you wanna get it and you wanna invest in it, the medium resistance. So to get into a squat position and then step, and this one's nice and slow and controlled the whole way down. This is great to open up the abductors, and essentially you go all the way to the mid-court line, get to the mid-court line just for the sake of shortening this video, and then go back. And I'll only do this one time up, one time back. So usually after I finish those cardio movements, I'm feeling pretty good and I'm ready to go into my stretching. So the first stretch that I always start out with is a lunge with a reach. It's a great full body stretch. So essentially you get into a lunge position. So your foot, you want it to try and be even with your hand. And then you're gonna take the other hand and reach down under your arm as low as you can go, and then up. And I only hold it for like 5 seconds and I go right into the next one. and I'll usually do 4 of these per side. So the next stretch is going to be a deep quad stretch. So I put a towel on the ground or a sweater, but usually you're wearing knee pads, so this is fine. And you put your leg up against the wall like that, the other leg forward. And to make it a little more dynamic, again, you can do the same sort of reach that we did on the last stretch. So reach down and up. And so I'll usually do the reach about 4 times, and that's enough of a hold on the stretch to then switch to the next leg. Well, the next stretch is called a pigeon stretch. This is a great hip stretch. So you're gonna bend your leg in front of you like this as much as you can, and the other leg is straight. And so you already feel it when you get to this position. And then if you like, you can also add the same sort of reach element. The reach element, I haven't mentioned it before, it's great to get the T-spine mobilized, which is going to really affect your throwing and your hip to shoulder separation. So what you do is you reach, again, you reach down and up as far as you can go. And again, I'll do that about 4 times, these reaches, and that's usually long enough for the hold to then switch to the next leg. The next one is another great T-spine stretch. So my legs are at a 90-degree angle, and I'm gonna lay with this hand reached out. Start with my opposite hand touching this hand, and then I open up, hold for like 5 seconds, and then I go back. And again, I'll probably do that one about 5 times each side. So last, for the like lower body sort of stretches, I'm gonna do what's called an ankle hold, squat, and pray. I really like this one to open up my legs as well. So I'll start with my legs a little bit more than shoulder width apart. I'll go to an ankle, go into a deep squat, and then pray. The pray is gonna allow me to push my elbows out to spread out my legs even more and really get a nice deep stretch on my hips. And I can also kind of go a little bit back and forth. So I'll hold it for about 10 seconds, go up, and I'll do about 5 of those. So now to get my upper body stretch, so I'm gonna start with one of my favorite shoulder stretches. They're called swimmers. So you're gonna lay flat on the ground and start with your arms out, and you're gonna bring them back all the way around and then back out again. So just like this, and I'll do these about 5 of them. The next one is I'm gonna have my arms in a T, or I'm in a T, and my thumbs up, and then I'm going to lift my arms up like this. Nice and slow and controlled, and I'm going to do that about 6 times. And then I'm going to finish off on the ground with some Ys. So again, my arms out at like a 45-degree angle, and again, I'm just going to raise them up. And I'll do that about 6 times. And lastly, I'm gonna finish up my stretching warm-ups with my light resistance band. Again, out of all the pieces of equipment that I use to warm up, this is the one I highly recommend you invest in. I use it all the time. So this is the lightest resistant offered, and I'll put it in the description. I'm not sponsored. So I kind of hold it with a little bit of the ends out, and the first stretch I do is just a pull here. This gets the chest opened up, the pec muscles. So I will do that one about 6 times. The next one I go into, I like to step on it, and then I'm gonna do an upright row with it. This gets the upper back area warmed up. I'll do this one again about 6 times. Then I will step on it with 1 foot, and this one I do because I do backhanded throws that I use my tricep. You don't need to do this one if you don't do those, but it's just to get my tricep warmed up. This one's definitely optional, and again, I'll do it about 6 times, and I'll do it on my left arm too, just because I like to even things out. And the last one, I'm gonna pull the band out and start in front of my chest, and then I'm gonna go all the way behind and back around. And I'll do that about 4 times. So that is what I do in terms of the little bit of cardio warm up and then the full body stretch. Again, if you're just doing a league night, I personally usually skip the cardio portion as I don't normally need that. All in all, it seems like a lot, but it usually takes me about 10 minutes to run through all of this. I hope you did enjoy this video. In the next video, I will be showing you how I warm up for my throwing portion. That again takes me about 8 to 10 minutes, that part. So tune into that next week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment with any other dodgeball topics you'd like me to cover, and I'll see you guys next week.